Hello everyone, my name is Alexander Zapata, and in this video, I'm going to be telling you all about the movie Big Trouble in Little China. The movie is about this ordinary truck driver by the name Jack Burton who finds himself caught up in the middle of a battle between good and evil in Chinatown, San Francisco. The movie was created by American director and composer John Carpenter, who is most famous for his work in the Halloween franchise. Before the production of this movie, Carpenter collaborated with actor Kurt Russell on several other projects, including Escape from New York. He made and released Big Trouble in Little China in 1986. America was at peace during this part of the 80s. Ronald Reagan was president, and the country was prosperous. The plot of Big Trouble in Little China is pretty straightforward. It is a standard battle between good and evil, combined with a quest to rescue the princess from the evil overlord. Jack Burton, played by Kurt Russell, never meant to be the hero of Little China. He only got roped into it after winning a bet against his Chinese friend and sidekick Wang Chi, played by Dennis Dunn. His call to adventure comes when he agrees to help Wang rescue his fiancée, Miao Yin, played by Suzy Pai. She gets kidnapped by a street gang from Little China that works for the evil sorcerer and leader of the Wing Kong, David Lo Pan, played by James Hong. After infiltrating Lo Pan's headquarters, encountering deadly traps, ruthless henchmen, and Chinese black magic, they arrive at the final showdown in the deepest reaches of the building. The climax of the movie takes place when Jack confronts Lo Pan as he tries to marry Miao Yin. After a brief face-off, Jack throws his knife at Lo Pan and misses. Lo Pan picks it up and throws it back at Jack, only for Jack to catch it and throw it back at Lo Pan, defeating him. The following action is our main characters racing to escape the crumbling headquarters. Afterwards, the story ends on a happy note. The Wing Kong is defeated, Wang is reunited with Miao Yin, and Jack is reunited with his truck, which was also stolen by the street gang. There is only one non-linear storytelling technique used in Big Trouble in Little China. The movie begins with a scene that takes place after the events of the story, before cutting to the beginning of the movie. This scene shows a major character, Egg Shen, played by Victor Wong, talking to an attorney about the incident at Lo Pan's headquarters. The attorney asks Egg about the whereabouts of Jack Burton, expressing that many people believe that Egg was involved with the events of the movie. The attorney also asks Egg if he believes in magic. In response, Egg shows the attorney lightning coming from his hands. The movie then cuts to Jack driving down a road towards San Francisco in his semi. Jack Burton begins the movie with a tough guy trucker persona as he makes his way into town. He maintains this persona, but it is unclear if it is just an act. Even if it's not an act, nothing could have prepared him for what he was about to see. He also didn't seem to care about anything except for money and sex. But that starts to change as he goes through the movie. He had every opportunity to abandon Wang and let him figure out his own rescue mission alone, but he doesn't. He sticks with his friend until the very end. By the end of the film, his tough guy persona feels more authentic. He does not completely change, still finding value in money and sex, but he also values his friends and even the greater good. Wang's character does not change. He remains an honest and determined Chinese man throughout the entire film. Even when he wants to rush in to save Miao Yin, he stays patient and he does what he needs to do. There are typical archetypal characters in the movie, such as the mentor, the ally, and the shadow. Egg Shen, as an authority on Lo Pan, acts as the leader and wise old man, aka the mentor. He knows what he needs to do to make sure everyone who goes into this mission comes out on the other side. The ally is played by Jack's likable sidekick, Wang. He is always there to help guide Jack through this dangerous world by giving him information on the myths and legends, and the main antagonist, as the main antagonist, aka the Shadow, Lo Pan is a sorcerer who represents an ancient evil. He is also a modern evil given his side business as a sex trafficker. Some of the best stories are those where good fights against evil. A recurring theme in American literature is that the odds are never in the hero's favor, but good still manages to overcome evil in the end. In all of the combat instances in the movie, the bad guys always either outnumbered the heroes or were stronger than them in specific ways. Taking the take the final showdown at the wedding for an example. There was an entire army of Wing Kong henchmen, along with Lo Pan and his three elite magical soldiers known as the Three Storms. Thanks to a magic potion Egg brought with him, they were able to survive the onslaught and wipe out all of the Wing Kong soldiers present in the temple. The odds were against them from the beginning, but they still managed to beat the odds. A motif about this movie which enhances the storytelling is that the good guys were all normal human beings, while the bad guys were wacky spellcasters and magic users. Something that Egg Shen says as he is taking Jack, Wang, and a group of martial artists through the Bog of the Dead Trees symbolizes this motif. In his words, 1,000 years ago, huge earthquakes turned the world upside down. Many normal people were killed. Many unnatural people roamed free to commit great offenses against the gods. Lo Pan's backstory suggests that he is either one of these unnatural people or a descendant of one. The same could be said about the Three Storms. The only magic caster that is not evil is Egg Shen. While he may be an unnatural person, he is the polar opposite of Lo Pan, as he uses his magic for good to aid Jack rather than trying to take over the world. It is hard to overcome astronomical odds alone. Egg Shen and his magical abilities level the playing field and give the good guys the advantage they need to turn the tables on Lo Pan and his army. Although Egg Shen is the one who gives Jack and Wang what they need to face Lo Pan, his instances of magic are too few and too far in between. As a result, his good weird magic is far overshadowed by Lo Pan's weird evil magic. The design of the sets reflects the themes of good overpowering evil despite the odds. The main base of the good guys, the Dragon of the Black Pool restaurant, is a small and modest place, which suggests a calming presence. It uses simple camera movements, little music, and no special effects to give the heroes a place to gather and decide their next move. This affects the narrative by giving the viewers a break from all the stress and the action. In contrast, Lo Pan's domain is like a multi-layered labyrinth. Most of the special effects are used here to demonstrate the use of magic. From using green screens to make characters phase through walls, to using bright lights and smoke to simulate explosions, these special effects show how different the world beneath Chinatown is from the world above ground. The large scale underground of the building symbolizes how much power Lo Pan has in Chinatown. Nobody in Chinatown gets called the godfather of Little China by accident. This puts into perspective what Jack and Wang have to deal with in order to save Miao Yin from Lo Pan. In addition to directing the film, John Carpenter composed the music himself. It is a combination of rock and synthesizer. The music enhances the fighting scenes by adding more depth to the combat and alludes to the use of magic. It also conveys Lo Pan's urgency and desperation as he tries to break the curse. The music adds to the emotions experienced by the viewers, and it adds to the atmosphere of different scenes. Despite the movie taking place in a primarily Chinese setting, the movie reflects American literature surprisingly well, especially in Jack's character growth. At first, he is only interested in money and trying to get ahead. As the story progresses, he stops caring about what he wants and strives to do the right thing. A controversial topic that the movie addresses is human trafficking. The Chinese street gang was not specifically targeting Mao Yin. It appeared that they routinely abducted pretty female immigrants and sold them into prostitution. Jack witnessing this was the beginning of his character growth. To conclude, Big Trouble in Little China is a fun action comedy movie that focuses on the motifs of good overcoming evil against great odds. It uses symbolism to show how things that are wacky and weird are generally portrayed as evil, with the exception of Egg Shen, while normal people are considered good. The plot is straightforward. There is genuine character growth for the main character, while most of the other characters remain static. The music adds depth to scenes, making viewers feel like they are a part of the action. If it also presents magic in a realistic setting where everyone accepts the magical elements without question and has social commentary on the problem of human trafficking, placing it into the magical realism genre. This movie made its impact in the landscape of American literature by giving viewers a story about an underdog hero overcoming impossible odds to bring order to chaos. All in all, Big Trouble in Little China is a diamond in the rough when it comes to American movies. The music adds character to the scenes, the story is easy to understand, and the film is an excellent representation of American storytelling just by being a fun movie. Thank you for watching.